So my name is Bergen McMurray. This is my son Dave and my husband Chris. We, all of us, are here to address an issue of the new student transition plan.
Okay.
In the capacity section.
Exactly.
The alternative school AS1 is slated for closure. The documentation produced by Seattle Public Schools, the only reason that they give for this is the declining, and very small declining, but declining enrollment at AS1 over the past, like, what is it, four years? This is a problem because they're treating AS1 like the program is the same as any other school in the Seattle Public School System, and it's not. There are two things that make AS1 vastly different from any other school. One of those is the experiential learning program, which focuses on teaching children through kinesthetic learning and real-world experience.
Right.
No other school in the Seattle Public School District teaches this way. The second thing is it is also the only school that has elements of the curriculum to deal with the issues that LGBT children face and their families. No other school, I mean, there are a lot of schools in the Seattle Public School System that have an LGBT-friendly environment, but we actually have elements in the curriculum to help children deal with those issues.
Right.
And especially in the light of what the It Gets Better project has highlighted recently as far as teen suicides go,
Right.
this is an integral part of helping these children, is giving them a program wherein they're not just accepted and treated specially, but their life issues are dealt with in the program. So, I have already contacted the National Pride Foundation, and they are willing to help us. Gay City Project, GLSEN, which is a national foundation that helps LGBT children get rights in education.
Right.
And what we need to do is we need to help you understand why this program needs to continue, because this is slated to be announced as policy on January 3rd and voted on January 15th, and then the school will close. So we're here to see what you have to say about that, and hopefully convince you to help us convince other board members that this school should not be closed at all, because if you close it, these programs won't exist in Seattle Public Schools ever again.
My name is Deborah Carmen-Domenico. I've been a teacher at the school for a couple of decades.
Deborah, what was your last name?
Domenico.
Oh, great, of course.
And and I think it speaks volumes that I knew I was coming today, but last night in the evening I thought, well, maybe I should bring students. And I called the three of them, and here they are. I mean, they only had last night's notice. And so I think that speaks volumes.
Yes.
And I think also that I had their numbers in my cell phone.
That speaks volumes.
Yes, it does. But just quickly, I wanted to just, and I would like to give you this so that you can peruse it later. But our district-wide data demonstrates, so the question was, we got an award last year for this program. It's a rite of passage program. It's where we take our 8th graders into the wilderness, and it's experiential learning at its best. And I had to fill out this particular questionnaire in order to write a passage. And this question was, what is the demonstrated need that this program supports? And I just want to read it first, because I would forget it if I tried to just say it right now, even though I wrote it. Our district-wide data demonstrates a falling off in achievement scores for our students as they move through middle school. These flagging scores are also paired with a drop in attendance and a rise in behavior problems. The key to increase student achievement during middle school is to increase the connection between the students and their school, the relationship between a student and significant adults at the school, and the relevance of the content of this class is how we increase the connection between our children and our school. And that's exactly what we do. We know that middle school is an incredibly vulnerable and fragile time for our children. We realize that if they don't do well in middle school, or if their needs are not met in middle school, they oftentimes don't even go to high school. And so what we do is we take them at this middle school, because our school is a K-8. We take them at this age, and we provide this incredible, outstanding program called Rite of Passage, where once a month we do team building, or we do service learning, or we do camping, we do hiking, and then at the end of the year, we go into the wilderness for 10 days, and they become different people.
I went to AS1. I graduated in 2002. It is a community school, and I know that we all say that our schools are communities, but this honestly was a family. And the faculty really were parents to these kids. This woman completely changed my life.
I'm Sydney Deering, and I came here with my Garfield parent hat on, but I moved to talk to you with my Nova grad hat on.
Good.
And you know I'm a substitute in the district, and I get around everywhere and see everything. And as I see the curriculum becoming more aligned, and everybody saying the same script everywhere, we are not serving kids who don't learn that way. And in the face of the closure of Summit K-12, we're really narrowing our ability to go catch all the kids and the different ways they learn. So,
I agree.
I'm Wayne Duncan. I have a sophomore at Garfield, but I'm the site council at TOPS K-8, another alternative school. I am stunned by this knowledge that you just shared in terms of the proposed closure of AS1.
So were we.
So there was a complete, the first that the board heard of it was when we were presented with that information at the new student assignment plan work session 2 weeks ago.
There's that respect thing again.
So go ahead.
What we've been working on for the past year and a half is providing a framework for evaluating the alternative schools in the district, trying to identify their strengths and trying to identify what supports they need to go forward. What I hear is that process has really been abandoned with this out-of-the-blue proposal to close AS1. This is totally inconsistent with public input, with process, and with thinking about what are the diverse needs in our district. I think this really has to be challenged. It's a violation of the trust that you have asked us to put in you in terms of public process. I think here again we see the issues that Melissa and Nora brought up at the very start of this meeting, that there is not enough public engagement and honest, transparent communication about what is actually
So
going on.
I want to say thank you so much to AS1 for turning out. And I think it's really important for everyone in this room who maybe doesn't have experience with our alternative schools to know a little bit of the history. This is not the first time that AS1 has been threatened. It's not the first time in the past 3 years that AS1 has been threatened. I mean, our alternative schools and AS1 in particular have had targets on their back for a very long time. And I want to say that for AS1, as the other alternative schools, to be the tools of capacity management for the district is so disheartening. I mean, that AS1 is held responsible for low enrollment or declining enrollment when for a decade they have been threatened pretty much consistently every single year, one way or another. They've had their principals pulled, they've had just district mandated changes that are not in line with their philosophy at all, and it doesn't serve their population, and it doesn't inspire family confidence, and it's hard to grow your enrollment when you're constantly threatened. And so to consider closing AS1 in the middle of this process, it gives us no confidence. And the level of confidence is already pretty low.
I hear you.
So I advocate absolutely for keeping this program open and for giving support to the process around which alternative schools will be defined and evaluated, and this just cannot happen.
A miss on our part was that we did not, within the assignment enrollment process, we did not really give fair due to our K-8. So it's part of why people didn't realize they could choose Madrona at the same level of clarity and in your face that you could choose Washington Middle School, for instance.
Yes,
and that also, I'm
you.
sure, affected people making AS1 a choice.
Okay.
And that's something that I have daylighted and we will change for next year.
So,
But as I went back and reflected on all of the materials, that seemed like more of the way it was presented to the board, it seemed to me, from my frame, I have not spoken with my colleagues about this particular issue, like it was more of a recommendation than simply part of the list. I just want to say up front, you guys don't have anybody that's going to be more of an advocate for all of the things that you just described, for having diversity in our curriculum, for having support for our LGBT families and communities. You know, I was at the LGBT dinner on 2 weeks ago, whatever night that was, and reiterated again to Lisa Love that I'm working very hard to create more of a embedded curriculum around that. Plus, when I was in Colorado a month ago, Aspen, which has 35% free and reduced lunch, they have a huge Hispanic population, puts every kid in an outdoor curriculum from kindergarten. So this rite of passage, they do a 2-week wilderness with all of their 8th graders. It is transformational.
So connect me with them, will you?
Yeah, I will. I've got all their information. It is transformational. We've got mountains, we've got wilderness. We should be doing that with every flipping middle schooler in our district. You have no bigger supporter than me.
Thank you.
And I happen to know that Nancy also loves our alternative schools, particularly Nova, because she told me so. You have a supporter with her.
Options that were considered.
Thank you for saying that you'll support us. I really appreciate that.
That's like a no-brainer.
Well, I just got to say,
Thank
it was
you.
very heartening. It did almost make me start to cry when I saw that there were other people in the room that were demanding to be heard in support of AS1. So
Absolutely.
that was the most heartening thing for today. Well, I think that we have her support today, and I think we need to continue to remind her of her passion today so that we also have her support in January.
Thank